Welcome back, everybody, to EGFC. I still had my mask on by accident, but listen, you've got to stay safe. You got to stay protected out there. But anyways, we are getting into our final game of the night soon enough, and we are so happy to be here all night long for some amazing Smash action, wrapping it up with a coast-to-coast bit of combat here. The University of Hawaii taking on Canisius College, and I, Kilo Miles with Soy, are happy to deliver it all to you live on air on radio. We're not on radio, but you know what I mean.
I wish we were on radio. That'd be fun to listen to. But yeah, no, this is an interesting an interesting matchup. These are two schools that I feel like are kind of in similar scenarios, but it's sort of a rising rivalry. Hawaii, we've mentioned it before, this was one of those teams that they were the very last team to sneak into playoffs, and Canisius was right in that race with them, but one of the things that got them eliminated was the fact that they could not beat Hawaii last year. They were 0-2 against them. So looking for a little bit of vengeance here in week 6.
And it feels like St. John's kind of has their number. I mean, they have everyone's number, but St. John's has some strategies they have shared with us on how to be ready for Hawaii, and they've shared them on interview. So we'll see if Canisius has followed suit. I mean, Canisius has always been a consistent school, but Hawaii is honestly very well practiced, very organized. We'll see how that holds up, as it sounds like we're starting to get into the first game now.
3, 2, 1.
Maybe. Yeah, there we go. As we have Volt taking on Daku Sky, a Final Fantasy Brawl.
Yeah, and Volt, one of these players for Hawaii that we got to interview last week, and he was on a tear on this cloud, and Daku Sky is one of the players that there's a lot of pressure on him to perform on this Canisius roster. When he got in a season ago, he was very strong, multiple 3 stocks, but this season it's been a little more streaky for him, so we'll see how he does here.
Yeah, I mean, immediately it's looking more tradey than anything else, but on the ground, Volt really does have the edge until you get dragged towards the ledge by that long uppy. Daku Sky trying to put the pressure on now that you have one wing available, but it's not the easiest thing when you know Volt would be putting out a hitbox at any moment. Catches the jump with the up tilt right there, but at dash check not enough. Daku Sky not quite. Look at these big whiffs right here. The spacing is honestly impeccable.
Yeah, really good right now, and things still even relatively, but this is a huge opportunity for Volt. That neutral B not going to catch Daku Sky's recovery. That forward smash would have been the sweet spot, but a good shield from Volt gets him out of dodge. Now, back. Both of these players playing very dangerously. That dash attack will actually manage to take the stock, so strike 1 goes to Volt.
And now, Daku Sky in a little bit of trouble. You're at 44%. You're going to be using that limit blade beam. 63. And Sephiroth, he's a light old fellow. I mean, you might be able to get the kill soon, but even that little hit is not enough. And just as you saw, they were trying to use that super armor to trade with whatever's coming, but they weren't in time. They're eventually able to clean up with the forward smash, but it's still not, not exactly even.
Yeah, Volt did so much work on this stock already, and already looking to try and take it there. That back air just does so much work for Cloud, and Daku Sky still looking to find some chip damage on this first stock. Still hasn't found a way to get anything on the board here. Chance here, that was an awkward clank, but goes in Volt's favor here.
Yeah, is now trying to space these back airs, but after 2 back airs on shield, they know the cross slash is going to connect. That awareness gets Volt the stock.
And now up a full stock, and it feels like Volt, the movement of this Cloud right now is just on point, and Daku Sky really struggling to get those kind of straight pokes that Sephiroth really thrives off of.
Yes. I mean, this is where it gets a little rough. Oh, look at that. Shadow Flare's not... Oh, gets the ledge stepping online, just covering it with hitbox after hitbox. But they weren't ready for that flare out of nowhere. Usually Sephiroth just uses that as a mix-up, but when he doesn't, you gotta be ready for it. Covering the roll, covering the neutral get-up. We're not ready for it, but that time they cancel it, catching the jump with the up tilt. That was, I mean, textbook conditioning right there.
Yeah, really well done to Deku Sky, like you said, just pressuring that ledge with the neutral B, and then finally catches him recovering high with that up tilt. And it's important to throw out that up tilt too. It's a quick move, and it's faster than that up smash, despite it covering a lot more space. So great awareness by Deku Sky, but the limit cross slash sealing away game number 1 for Volt.
Yeah, as it looks like Volt, once again, they were a very strong player on Hawaii last week, so it's not surprising that they get the win. But Deku Sky in the Final Fantasy Brawl definitely did keep it close, keep it even. Up until the end, I love how they used that flare at ledge. But that is only one piece of the puzzle, and when you spent the whole first part of the game losing neutral interaction after neutral interaction, it is pretty hard to make a comeback from that.
Yeah, no, that second stock was, I think, very telling. The fact that, Deku Sky lost his second stock, and Volt, by the time he loses his first, can still seal away the second, just mostly through neutral interactions. It was very telling. But, this is one of those matchups where Deku Sky, when he gets an opening, you can see all the damage that he can do. Think about those grab combos that Sephiroth has at low percents to, get something on the board. The problem is, once you're out of those low percents, you're looking for a little bit, Sephiroth has that forward air and back air, which just covers so much range. And it didn't feel like I think I saw a single forward air or side B. None of the poke that Deku Sky threw out ever landed. Volt did a good job of spacing properly and weaving his way in and out.
Yeah. And I feel like in matchups like this, especially with the teams, in all situations, no matter the pressure, you need to be on lock with how your combos flow. You need to know, if I down throw here, I can close my eyes and buffer this option, and I can get some damage. You don't always go for that. You can read some air dodges, you can go for some bigger punishes, but when all else fails, you need to know these ways to secure damage, the ways to secure kills. And obviously kills are a little bit trickier, but listen, it's all about consistency and being consistent in all situations.
Yeah, and Volt is one of those players that's been very consistent for Hawaii. 2-2 on the season, but when he wins big. And I feel like part of that is it almost, I think, goes down to his play style, because I feel like Volt is one of those players that the longer a set goes, the longer he has to adapt and find the reads that I think Volt is kind of known for. I mean, I flash back to his set against Kibbs and Iona, where it just, like, that match, after game 1, it felt like it was, that second game, it was kind of download completed, and he was just finding every neutral interaction. Every time, he wanted to get to center stage, Volt was there and had an answer for it. And so I think the key here is for Deku Sky, you can't let this game get dragged out. You have to find that damage early and fast. You have to force him to play uncomfortably, put him on his back foot early. And that's a difficult thing to do when you've got a Cloud who can weave in and out of hitboxes so cleanly.
As we are going to be going to a bit of a different mix-up. It's going to be Lilat, which gives a couple more recovery mix-ups. And I feel like Sephiroth does like the ability to just cover all of those mix-ups with a falling up air, but I feel like Cloud does get some certain mileage, especially once you have limits, or limit online. You're able to weave all around that center stage area. What? I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure which way this stage leans, but if it's a comfort pick, it's a comfort pick. It is Kalos.
Yeah, so Kalos being the selection here, I'm also interested to see how this one goes. I think Kalos is definitely a comfort pick for Daku Sky. I think in terms of the ways that Sephiroth kills, I think he's got a lot more options off the side of the screen than off the top, like we've mentioned before. And also, you have the ability with Sephiroth to dip a little bit lower because you've got that stab you can use to kind of stall your recovery out.
Now, they're able to DI out of that cross slash at low percent, but the landing there doesn't afford them much mileage. Down tilt, not going to follow up into much as Daku Sky plays the spacing game for now. That Shadow Flare makes sure that Volt can't get much of a follow-up there, but that's fine for Daku Sky. You know they're A-okay to keep playing this game, but that time you see Volt, they know better than to stand right at ledge to go for the ledge trap as much as you want to.
Yeah, absolutely, and I like the idea to go for the grab there from Daku Sky, and low percent combo doesn't find the back throw, or it doesn't quite find the back air off of those throws, either of them, and so now Daku Sky is going to have to find a way to get that little bit of extra damage on there, and seems to be, again, trying to use this poke to his advantage, but Volt, he's caught on. These hops around the spacing are just so good.
Daku Sky. Yeah, they're able to make it back to ledge, but that might be all they're afforded for the time being. They're able to get neutral, get up through that, as at this point the kill is anyone's game. As you can see, they want that limit cross slash so bad. Tries to go for the spot dodge, mix up with it, but can't quite find it. All the way across stage, it's not going to be enough to catch Daku Sky with it. So, going to be caught by the up smash instead. Volt. It's just little chips right here, but you're not quite able to finish off the one-winged angel.
So much pressure here with that limit, and that up B should do it. Off the top of the screen he goes, and Volt again striking first.
I feel like that has always been a mix-up that Clouds have had, but I haven't seen as many go for it as much as recently. I don't know what inspired them, but that up B had a shield with limit. I mean, once you get them at kill percent, it's an amazing anti-air.
Yeah, and that neutral B won't be able to take the stock. So Daku Sky looking to find a way to quickly answer here. Doesn't want to take too much percent and allow Volt a lot of extra credit. Both just really swinging on shields right now. That up air, though, will take it. So Daku Sky on the board and minimal percent to his name.
Well, that minimal percent not going to be lasting too long, so as they're sent off stage, Volt pressures safely with the back airs before dropping in with a tomahawk cross slash. I know it's not technically a tomahawk, but listen, I like the cut of their jib, and I like the cut of that cross slash too. As they're able to finish off the one wing just as it comes out, flipping it off. Daku Sky, at this point on their counter pick, it's starting to look like all the hooks running down the drain.
And that was the first hit of Volt's second stock there, and that's a lot of clusters around Cloud right now. He'll be able to shield a lot of them. That's a lot of shield pressure, and it was important for Volt to get Daku Sky off stage before that pressure came in.
He's trying to set up a tech chase on that platform, because it might as well be game over if that happens. Spacing the back airs, knowing how much you really can't challenge that when you're in their situation. They have the extra jump now for another mix-up, but going for such a committal option right there, it's going to be your doom as University of Hawaii goes up against Canisius. The old rivals, well, not quite on even footing to start out, but it is only game 1. Final Fantasy Duel going the way, well, going the canonical way. As with Canisius going down, it is going to hurt a little bit, but I mean, that was also Volt. Volt, like you said, put on a clinic last week against Kibbs, so I'm curious to see how that continues as we go into our future games.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, Volt is one of these players that, again, I think he just kind of gets stronger and stronger as a set goes on. I think he becomes a little bit more, I don't want to say read heavy, but you saw how many neutral interactions he was able to win, and just, picking on the same repeated mistakes time and time again, I think was really the story of that specific set there. As Deku Sky just, it feels like Deku Sky has a game plan going into that match, and Volt just, flipped the switch and adapted, and Deku Sky couldn't flip his own switch.
Yeah, and that's rough, as looking to see who is coming up next with the second game of our last match of the night. It's looking like Fruit Basket or Tempest. Yeah, Tempest has renamed themselves to Fruit Basket, and is Tempest? Yeah, Tempest is actually ranked in Hawaii offline. That can't bode well, but hey, sometimes making the transition to online is tough, but when it comes to pure game sense, it really does translate, especially when you're at that different level where you're beating so many people offline. Curious to see how it goes for them.
Yeah, and they have so far been rocking the Pokemon trainer. I believe they're still searching for their first real set win, but it's not for lack of trying. They've been going up. Typically when they go in, it is either, game 1 or game 5. They are either going up against the heavy hitters early in the roster or the heavy hitters late in the lineup. And so they're still searching for their first set win here at EGF. But with a character like Pokemon Trainer, it almost feels like it's only a matter of time, because their Pokemon Trainer is very proficient. It just hasn't been able to close out sets quite yet.
Yeah, and that can be a little bit rough. And, well, since it does seem like we have a bit, and we are starting to wrap up our night, even though this set is only just getting going, let's take a second to look at the schedule, see where we've come from, see what kind of matchups we've experienced so far today. As we started out with the University of Connecticut versus Marist, and what was that, Soy? That was unexpected, to say the least.
Yeah, the 0-5 UConn team, the Huskies, trying to pull off the upset and nearly got it done. Came down to set 5, game 3, last stock, and it was Luke clutching it out for the Red Foxes. So the Red Foxes keep that loss column at just 1 and move on to next week. And then we got to see William and Mary versus Iona. And that was another kind of interesting matchup, because we got to see a little bit more of the depth of William and Mary's roster. And Iona, they put up a solid fight, but just wasn't enough. A lot of game 3s in that set, as you noted.
Yeah.
And then St. John's and Niagara afterwards. St. John's really putting on a show.
Yeah, that was, well, St. John's doing St. John's things. And when you are the big fish in our medium-sized pond that is EGF, you definitely need to put on a show. That's what St. John's did. They didn't let Niagara play the game for a lot of it, but some of the players came in swinging, and swinging hard. I mean, right off the bat, they actually did manage to get 1 point on the board, but it was kind of all downhill from there, and the hill peaked all the way, or bottomed out, valleyed, at EJJ. EJJ got the 8 stock and did it in style with the Rob and the Diddy Kong. EJJ showing that they might be the player to fear on St. John's, not even Mr. L all the time.
Yeah, and I think his performance has been the biggest of the night, and I believe that is one of the biggest performances we've seen from, well, any individual player all season. It is rare to see a double 3 stock. It is so difficult in this league to hold on to your stocks because so many characters just have such a raw kill power. And so for EJJ to have that kind of performance and to get St. John's, whose point differential, by the way, St. John's is this team that was 3-2, but they had a plus 30 point differential coming into this week. That's 8th in the league. And to give you an idea of where that really stacks up in the league, there are 22 teams. So they are just slightly above the middle of the pack. A huge win against Niagara is just what they needed to kind of give them the edge in terms of tiebreakers maybe later on in the season.
Yeah, as now we're getting some more info about where Canisius is going, and I'm going to read an exact quote from the captain's chat. Canisius College descends from the heavens and says, "Sending in the rat for production purposes." We here at production appreciate the rat. I'm not sure why we specifically asked for the rat, but I'm never opposed to rats in my life. Rats have given me many fun memories and such. How do you feel about the rat, Zoe?
Hello, am I here?
No. Please go ahead.
No, sorry. I honestly thought my internet was crashing again. That would be tragic. But rat for Canisius, interesting player. I don't believe we've seen him before, but I have him down as 0-1 on the year so far. And I believe, to my knowledge, he played Bowser Jr. the one time he got in on stream. So
yep.
That could be... Bowser Jr. is one of these characters that I feel like is on the rise, strangely enough, in the EGF. I feel like we're starting to see more and more of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Philly. I've been going to more Philly locals lately, and if you know anything about Philadelphia, Bowser Jr. on Bowser Jr. on Bowser Jr. on Bowser Jr. So I'm very familiar with this character at this point. They're good. They've got kill confirms. The thing they lack... They've got combos, they got kill confirms, they've got zoning. The thing Bowser Jr. lacks is variety. They've got like one good tool for every situation. But only one. And sure, they've got some mix-ups. They've got some very complicated setups where you have precise spacing from across the stage to make sure the cannonball falls down just as the Koopaling comes, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? I don't think we're going to be seeing that in these conditions, but Bowser Jr. does have tool, singular. And if you're able to leverage tool and the opponent is not able to deal with tool, then, well, it's going to bash your head in. As they're going to be going up against, let me double check here, I think, oh yeah, it was Fruit Basket. It has been such a long time since we got this going. So, again, audience, last game of the night, the players are all tired, we're a little sleepy, but we're just fine. I thank you all for your patience as we get through these final games and enjoy them in style, as it's going to be the rat. I'm sorry, you've permanently added a "the" to your name. I hope you like that. Taking on Fruit Basket, a.k.a. Tempest, a.k.a. Ranked in Hawaii.
Yeah, and the rat is one of these players who might have... Oh my goodness, Well, they're off to a start. That's to say the least. But I was gonna say they're one of the new players to this Canisius roster. I believe they're an underclassman. So interesting to see them get some time here against Fruit Basket.
Yeah, on the ground, it's gonna be hard to contest with Squirtle, but they're able to use their cross-stage burst options to contest, and Cannonball actually does beat out Razor Leaf. That's not that applicable. Oh. That shield is actually getting really low. If you land a forward smash at the right spacing and they shield it, should be done even at this time. But instead, you do get Fruit Basket off stage. Going for the edge guard now. Just a little bit of tilt attacks. Just playing calm, playing cautious. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, and the interesting part about this matchup too, whenever there's a Bowser Jr. on screen, you have to be constantly thinking about the Mecha Koopa, right? Because that's where a lot of Bowser Jr.'s utility and setups come from. Even there, connecting underneath the platform, kind of a strange hitbox that Fruit Basket wasn't ready for.
And, ooh, nice option to get off the ledge right there with the up B. You can see Fruit Basket is starting to hard call out a lot of Rat's approach options with the clown car from across stage being down aired. Calling out the edge guarding with the up B from ledge. Fruit Basket is catching on, but how many more tricks does Rat have up their sleeves? We will see. We will see. As the up tilt does whiff in the end, but the up smash after the roll behind will be a good finisher right there for the side of Fruit Basket, as Rat looking to try and find a way to clean up this kill. And this is where Bowser Jr. can struggle a little bit unless it's just the raw clown car.
That clown card does a surprising amount of knockback, and catching Charizard there and able to steal that stock away is a huge sign for Rat.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. Knowing that maybe because of the clown car, you can't get many guaranteed combos. So you get guaranteed damage. Combos you can buffer. Down throw, up B, 45%. Why not?
Yeah, those are going to be huge. And now the side Bs of Fruit Basket, this Squirtle putting in a lot of work, and Rat's actually done a pretty good job so far of mitigating what this Ivysaur can do. And from what I remember of watching Fruit Basket, this Ivysaur was one of his more proficient among the three options you have as Pokemon trainer.
It's just tough to get any sort of traction. As now, oh, you're going way down, and the Nair won't catch him. Rat loves those super low blast zone recoveries. I'm not a personal fan of them, and you can see why right there. You can't be 100% sure your spacing is correct. This Rat will fall in the end there. Going for the down air, but doesn't quite land it. Falling up air either. Fruit Basket's some trouble getting these early percents, getting off the ledge.
I like the idea. Ooh, there's the combo. The Mecha Koopa into the forward air to seal away that stock. And I also like the attempt at the edge guard there. Drop that carriage down and see if we can catch that tether recovery before we can snap the ledge. But now this Squirtle putting in a lot of work. 62% already on that.
They're able to connect one up air, but not much more than that as they're back throwing off stage. Fruit Basket with the charged up water gun waiting. Not able to connect it yet though. Rat is able to slowly start clawing their way back into this. They're nearing kill confirm percent. Didn't quite have the proper drift to follow up on that up B like that. But Rat is, I mean, they have gnawed their way back into this.
They really have. And look at it's like setting up camp basically around that ledge. Cover the platform, cover the jump. And now Rat's got to play very carefully. That down air is too big though. Fruit Basket takes game one.
That's the thing about going camping. You've got to expect nature to have its way with you. As that Ivysaur, there's some meaty, overgrown hitboxes, I gotta say. I mean, just orb. That's all it is. I mean, and when you don't have the mix-ups right there, when you're going straight to ledge, it can be a little rough. Even snapping to ledge like that, it is hard to punish online, but if you do the same timing every time, well, you just, there's no mix-up. You just wait, press down air, and you're dead. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying it's that easy every time, but it's just motivation for the Rat to kind of clean up how they're getting back to ledge, because going all the way down, going as low as you can, is a good option for being obscure, being hard to track down. But if you do it every time, then is it really worth it?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that point, especially because I mean we saw him go deep at least 3 times, and one time he actually SD'd for it as well. So, it's fun to watch these new players here in the EGF, and Rat seems to be very capable and have a game plan, right? Because I feel like Tempest or not Tempest, Fruit Basket got off to an early lead there, and Rat was on that first stock, and Rat was able to control the pace of the game, especially during stock number 2, stock number 3. It was just kind of too little too late. Once Fruit Basket had his openings, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. He knew exactly how to punish.
Yeah, I mean, Fruit Basket did feel like had a couple more hard call-outs, but we can't underestimate the pressure that the Rat was able to put on, especially at ledge. It did feel like a lot of you were getting checked and getting decked, like leaving the coupoling on the platform. Like, you got to check for that. You got to check everything off the list. That's how it feels against some of these characters. You got to be like, all right, is the coupoling here? Is the coupoling here? It's like an OSHA safety procedure. But if you follow everything correctly, if you follow the recipe step by step, you're going to have a good cake in the end. As, well, University of Hawaii still maintaining their lead for now. I have good feelings about Fruit Basket and their ability to adapt, but let's see what the Rat has up their sleeves.
Yeah, and as we get ready for game 2, I think for what I'm looking for, at least for the Rat, you clean up that SD and this whole match turns around. And I think you don't want to show your full hand, right? We talked about playing patiently, not pulling the trigger early. Leave some of those tricks like the deep recovery for late in the game. When they want that edge guard, when they need that stock, make them go through that checklist early, but hold your bag of tricks until late in the match.
Yeah, well, seems to be a more grounded game right off the bat. As Fruit Basket respects their space for the time being, as they try and stack on some early percent when Ivysaur doesn't really seem like the best option. But after they miss that tech, now they're just retreating, waiting for the opportunity to get their turn to play neutral again. They're able to get around that cannonball for the time being. Stack on some percent, but it's fairly even back and forth.
Yeah, first real opening there going to Fruit Basket. You could tell that switch to Ivysaur. He thought about going for that down air once again. We mentioned already, Rat's got to be very careful about those low recoveries, and that's something I also like about Fruit Basket. Off of those back airs, anytime he sees that kind of upward diagonal angle, he's not afraid to throw out that up B. And that up B, it's something that we've seen Ivysaurs go for in the past, but Fruit Basket just not afraid to throw it out, make people constantly respect that hitbox.
As Gonzo going to be called out, as slowly but surely it's been edging Fruit Basket's way. They're searching for that kill now, and Ivysaur has a couple more tools to do it, like specifically that down throw. Rat wasn't quite ready for that one, going to be taken down, and now they're actually going to be sticking with the Ivysaur at this percent. Oh. Armoring through.
That could have been a very dangerous turnaround there. Thought he caught Rat's jump, and I could almost see him look for that down air.
Yeah, I mean, Nair's catching them, as well as the explosion. Fruit Basket is proven to be quite elusive, but here at the ledge is where Rat has found a lot of their kills. But the turnaround jab into a turnaround landing, a bit odd, but listen, I respect the drip. As Fruit Basket gets off ledge with the Razor Leaf and is able to kind of just forge their own way back into center stage. And as much as Rat wants to control it, it's Ivysaur's home turf.
And it feels like a couple of these... Ooh, there's that up B I was talking about earlier, catching Rat's jump. And stealing away that stock, but it feels like some of the positioning of Rat, we talked about positioning that Mecha Koopa, dropping the cannonball. It feels like some of it is just a little off on this stage.
To get off ledge. And, well, Fruit Basket is determined, I feel like, to just wait out Rat. That's a nice burst option right there, but the up air isn't quite a kill move yet. They have to drip back to avoid the big old explosion, but their leaves do get singed a bit as they're able to use that seed explosion in the end to get Rat back on the ledge. 177%. A good kill confirm right there. I think up throw, up air might do it. 187. You don't see people live into that often as they're looking to chase them off stage with the up B. Maybe get the 2-frame right here, but they mistime it a little bit. Good delay by Rat right there to keep their life alive. And they're finally able to get a stock off. Still not looking great for them, but I'm optimistic until that back air connects.
This is rough, to say the least, and that forward tilt will do it. So Fruit Basket, JV 3 stock there, and a solid performance from him in this second set.
Yeah, very, very, very nice from Fruit Basket, coming in a big way to show ain't afraid of no rats. That is 10 points on the board for Hawaii, 2 games in is not bad at all. Not the minimum at all, but, I mean, it's not perfect by any means. Canisius can still bring this back, but it feels like no matter how close they get, they lose in the individual sets. And so if you don't have one breakout player to really shake things up, then it's just going to keep tipping slowly but surely, trickling into Hawaii's favor.
Yeah, you've got to find a way to take a set here, because otherwise the point spread will just be, too far for any one or two players to be able to overcome. So pivotal third set here for the Golden Griffins, and you're talking about, being able to, have that one player. Canisius actually, without one of their key members this split, one of their players is one of their rising stars from last season is studying abroad this semester. So they won't have him back till week 9 or so, and that was MKL Rising, the Nest player that was able to find a lot of clutch, close wins last season. And so with him out of the lineup, you look to players like, I think, Flapjack and E-Dog, who have experience. A-Fly was one of the rising stars of this roster from last season, the Game & Watch, to possibly fill in on this third slot here. Curious to see who they send out next.
It's going to be Altair for Hawaii. And Altair, if I remember correctly, was not one of the starters, but they still have gotten some good wins.
Yeah, Altair, I believe, is how that is pronounced, if I remember correctly. And he played King K. Rool a lot last season, and we haven't seen him a whole lot this season, but he made a lot of appearances last season with a decent amount of success as well. King K. Rool, again, a character that I think we see very few of here in the EGF, but the few that we do see are fun to watch. And Altair, I think, one of the older ones in this league, currently 1-0 this season, and I think he last season in particular gave Canisius a nightmare of a time because he was just so good at controlling his space, using the cannonball and the crown to occupy so much space and not make it easy for any of the combo characters on this Golden Griffins roster to get in and do the classic damage that you think they would be able to get.
And so they're trying to go, right in, head first. It's going to be the captain themselves, Flapjack, taking on Altair. And, well, if I remember correctly, they just play a bunch of sorties, Trom, Aegis, Roy, whatever they're feeling at the moment. And so, I don't think that's a terrible matchup. I feel like being able to successfully challenge them in the air without having to worry about trading with a heavy is very crucial. But getting in those juggle scenarios and keeping your opponent in disadvantage, I think that is the key thing. Not as much huge combos, just making sure they are never in a position where they can figure out a way around your defenses, making sure they're never in advantage. You just want them to be always slightly worse off than you. And if you can do that, then the scales tip back towards Canisius College.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the experience on this team really comes from a player like Flapjack, who was on this roster last season. He went 8-7 last season, but he was going up against a lot of the heavy hitters. So there's a huge emphasis on him to win sets like these, to not only win, but find big wins, because he is really the captain of this roster. And so to go up against Altair here, I think you're absolutely right. It's about, making this King K rule just a little bit more uncomfortable, and it's going to be a very important game in terms of spacing, because we talked about how King K rule's got those projectiles in his hand, and sorties typically struggle with those projectiles.
We're just making sure everything is all set again, everyone. This is a New York team playing Hawaii, 5,000 miles between them, so I thank you all for your patience as we make sure everything is all set before each game. It's gonna be a little bit longer between breaks, but hey, that's what we're here for all night long, keeping you up on the airwaves for some Super Smash Bros. Action. As I feel like, I don't know, if Canisius, Game 3 is where the turnarounds happen because they have to happen. And sometimes because things have to happen is a good enough reason for teams to pull out all the stops and get these huge wins. I have faith. I definitely have faith in Flapjack. But if it doesn't turn around here, then I feel like we could see a bit of a morale break in Canisius.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I mean, Hawaii is this team that, again, they were 2-0 against Canisius last season, and they were able to find wins in these pivotal sets. These early victories put so much pressure on an opponent. I mean, this is why I always thought, or why I thought Iona, for example, was so interesting, because they put the heavy hitters out first. They want to win this set early, clean it up, and not allow teams that chance to come back. And now you're seeing why it's so difficult. You fall down early here, and now you've got to find a way to win and give yourself a chance in the back half of this set. It really puts the pressure on the depth of this roster.
Altair looking cool on Joker. They're able to get the down throw, some guaranteed bread and butters, but Flapjack is coming right back at him, swinging.
Good side B, and
that's an Arsene.
Yeah, and that might just be the stock. No, he's going to be able to survive. He actually backed away. I think if he had stayed there and countered, Flapjack might not have been able to make it back.
I don't know if that was a sign of respect, or Flapjack or Altair knew something we didn't. But either way, now you're on ledge, facing the jab pressure. That jab scoops, and, well, it's quite deadly as they just go for the straight dash behind, looking for the forward smash, but the spacing isn't quite there. Altair now without Arsene. That's shockingly fast, if I'm being honest, but either way, not able to get a follow-up off of the parry, because these moves just come out so fast, the parry hardly even matters.
Good parry there once again, and Altair, good job controlling stage, and that will be the up smash. Flapjack really wanted the dancing blade there and could not find a way to find a hit, and Altair might have thought he had his jump left, and he did not, I guess, and so stocks off the board of both players.
Guaranteed bread and butters right there. Once again, 26% and an off-stage Crom. If Crom did not have that recovery, would probably be like top 3 in the game. But so you want to make sure Crom can't use his amazing normals, make sure that he can't use his amazing ground game, and that is what Altair has been trying to do, but they don't keep Flapjack off stage as well as they can. They would rather scrap and drag him back down right to them on the ground, saying, okay, you want to use your tilts? Fine, get over here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And right now, Flapjack at a huge deficit, and Arsene about to come online as well for Altair. Here he is from ledge. This is where Flapjack has to play very carefully. He did a good job of mitigating the damage Arsene could do on that first stock, but now at a lower percent, it's not going to be nearly as easy.
Trying to space these back airs as best you can. One hit is a kill, but the up B out of shield right there. I mean, Altair has felt like an anti-Arsene player. It feels like they're so much more proficient with the non-Arsene Joker, and then it comes out and they're like, maybe a back air? No, I guess it's gone.
Yeah, not making great use of Arsene, like you said, and Altair about to get Arsene right back now. There's a grab forward throw, and Flapjack just doing a great job of pressuring.
But Stoll sets up for the roll in Breed. As Flapjack elusive circular jumps at the ledge is not enough when you go off stage, and then there's the counter. You go a little too high. Say hi to the skies. You're gonna be finished off. Pivots around. Flapjack, intimidating movement. Circular turns. They just did it again. They just put little pivots. And honestly, I can't blame him. I love myself a pivot.
Yeah, certainly intimidating. Oh, I actually like the idea to go for the side B behind him, knowing that most players kind of would maybe panic roll there, but no dice there, and Altair able to get out of it. And Altair surviving. Any damage he gets here could be big because Arsene is about to come back online, and this could be huge.
Oh, they went all the way down. They're like, I know you're not going to throw out an aerial. You want to live. You want to survive. But Altair not being able to get the finisher right there, that's going to cost them as Flapjack is able to get some points on the board for Canisius College. I mean, what else can you say except, wow. I am shocked that Flapjack lived that. They saved their jump after all of that and got back to stage and punished? That doesn't happen, Soy, but listen, you got to be 3 steps ahead.
Yeah, no, when you have a character whose recovery is a little more exploitable like that, you have to, know when to jump and when to save your jump, and Flapjack very, very aware in that scenario. And I gotta say that use of Rebel's Guard along the ledge, I mean, it feels like that's something Altair could use to exploit a little bit more, because that, like you said, the use of Arsene through that match was really being mitigated, and that's, I think, also a credit to Flapjack, just doing a good job of picking and choosing his ways in and out and finding damage. But situational awareness, I think, is one of his biggest strengths as a player.
Yeah, and I feel like one of the greatest strengths of I don't know if it's their character specifically, what inspires them like this. Maybe it's that they don't have the best offstage game. But being intimidating at the ledge is such a crucial bit of... I don't even know if it's technique, it's pizzazz, it's individuality. Like, everyone has their different methods of doing it. Like, think like pro Roy players like Cola, who will literally like run into an opponent's shield, short hop over, run into the other side, and then short hop over and like get a jab back air off of it. Like, just when you have a character whose whole reputation is have a hitbox out all the time and always be swinging and fighting ghosts, sometimes it is even scarier when you're not throwing out those hitboxes, because it's like, what is he planning there? He's just standing there menacingly. That's all it is. But it works. And that's the craziest thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell even in that set, right? Flapjack is just kind of standing there, spinning, threatening, reading a roll or reading a getup, and it just kind of freezes your opponent. It makes them think, right? because they're tunnel visioning on you. They're not paying attention to, hey, where can I go? They're looking at your opponent going, he's covering so many options right now. What is he trying? What is he looking for? And this is all while you're in disadvantage. So it's like you said, that intimidation factor, I think, is also another, huge sign of kind of knowing your character and knowing what threats they have in their pocket. And Altair, I think this is like we said, he typically plays King K. Rool, and I don't know if this matchup would be any easier or harder against Crom. I feel like Joker should have the advantage here. But at the end of the day, I mean, this Joker, it feels like the key portions of what Joker does well, Altair was kind of shying away from.
Yeah, the kill confirms, yeah, it did feel a little weird and not saving your jump completely. Maybe it's still a little bit of unawareness, but for the most part, they felt like they had a pretty good mastery of Joker's kit. Specifically, the awareness to fall down with Altair, knowing that no Crom in their right mind would be throwing out an aerial right there and go for a reversal when you're still trying to get back onto stage. That would be a truly high-level play to get the reversal right there, which Flapjack just went back to stage and got the ledge trap. It was not a full thing. So we're going to Battlefield now as the counter pick. Altair. There is, again, the 26% combo we have seen them get every time.
Yeah, and that guaranteed damage is good to start it off, and he's got Flapjack in the corner here, but I think Flapjack, I feel like this is another kind of comfort pick for him. Using these platforms to his advantage to get back to stage is going to be important.
Now, just fishing with the falling up air, is able to get 59% off of it, but, ooh, waiting until the last moment to tether onto there. Very, very crucial from our good old friend Altair. Now playing under this platform. Not looking to be undone. Good DI out of that up B. First hit can often be the deadliest, as with, again, very, very patient, very conserved play on the Arsene. Maybe I'm just used to Joker players going all in when they have the Arsene, so the fact that Altair is just playing how they normally do is just a little trickier.
Ooh, great Rebels guard there. You knew Flapjack really wanted to continue to swing at him, and gets a little bit of meter and is able to push Flapjack to the corner here now. Rebels guard again. Make it 2, and he gets Arsene because of it.
And now this could be a kill in the making, but getting hit off the top platform right there. That was a scary prospect indeed. But they're able to snap the ledge, get the jump off, punishing that with the dash attack. But trying to space that back air is going to put them in a position where they are not too happy, not too pleased in the slightest, Soy.
And I don't think Flapjack had his jump there, so he will lose his stock. And things are back to even between these two. And really the key here, even if Altair doesn't win this set, the fact that he's mitigated really the captain of this team to minimal amounts of points is massive. So this is a huge stock for Flapjack.
As you rest on ledge, you're a bit... Ooh, caught by the neutral B. That's an unconventional option, but you know what? I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Get the slam down as Altair covers their landing with that side B. The jab pressure, not going to connect this time, and landing on the platform is not going to be the safest option for Flapjack, but they're getting away scot-free anyways. The forward smash sending them off stage. Are they going to... Ooh, I feel like they actually... I don't actually know if I saw the hit, but the down guns, I feel like, interrupted what Flapjack's offstage plan was, and now they're down to stock to 2.
Yeah, and I actually think that air dodge, I think his plan there was to air dodge back to stage, but just not enough drift on it. Altair should be able to recover here, but along the ledge, again, so scary, gets Crom, jab, back air, sealing away the stock, and things dead even on the final stocks.
Man, falling up air right there. Good combo starter, but not able to continue it. As Altair not able to get their bread and butter that we've seen them prepare in time and time again. But They put themselves in disadvantage. That jump off of ledge, even I'm starting to call it out now. And if I'm picking up on patterns, you know Flapjack is. Soon they're going to be calling that out. What's Altair's answer going to be?
I like the idea of off the grab there, but no follow-up. And now Flapjack, dangerous percents here, both playing around the shield. Neither of them wanting to make a mistake. There's a counter. And this is a chance for Rebel's Guard and a lot of damage. And Arsene going to be on the field now. This is danger territory for Flapjack.
But, well, not the perfect thing. Oh, I think this could be it. They went so deep, though. They wanted the kill too badly. I don't think you needed to. But either way, now Altair would be dropping that opportunity, looking for... Ooh, you see that little bit of tricky movement in the air? Just the slightest nudge away, and the stage spike to finish it off. Altair was not ready. And even though they held the advantage, they held the line. They could not stand up for the University of Hawaii. Canisius College getting some good points on the board. 4 of them, to be precise.
Yeah, and staying alive in the set because of it. So Flapjack gets a much-needed victory for the Golden Griffins. And again, that was... what a turnaround from Flapjack, right? That last stock looked like it was slowly creeping away from Flapjack. Altair was getting all this damage. He gets Arsene, and all of a sudden, Flapjack just finds one opening, and Arsene meter just gets dissipated. And all it was 1 or 2 overextensions. Just has Flapjack off stage and goes for a counter off stage instead of holding right by that ledge. And that is something that I think, it almost, you wonder if he kind of got in his own head about it, right? Where you just say, okay, I just want to go off there and make sure this counter lands, when, he's landed that Rebel's Guard at ledge so many times that maybe he's just feeling confident about it. But either way, Flapjack, the few openings he gets, he really gets his mileage out of them.
And is very much able to minimize their characters' weaknesses. I actually do have a theory. I wish I knew more about the matchup in particular, but listen, we can't be expected to know everything, even though we should. But, do you see how they would only go for the counter when they went above the ledge? I have a feeling that maybe Tetrakarn just does not hit if you counter right as they try and sweet spot the ledge, even though it'll trigger. And then when you're in the counter end lag, they can just jump off the ledge and hit you. So I have a feeling there was a method to their madness. They were trying to force early recoveries. That's why they went down so low to try and hit it. But either way, that respect ultimately going to cost them the set. And, well, still some very good stuff coming up. It's going to be Darth Wampa coming in next, it seems. Just double checking everyone. Yeah. Oh, wait. No, it's actually Coffee Coon and A-Fly. You shouted out A-Fly before.
Yes, A-Fly for Canisius is one of the kind of up and rising stars of this team. His Game & Watch last season looked very strong, and coming into this season, I think he's got a few more pocket picks up his sleeve. I think we saw way back in week 1, I believe he went Steve, and it's had some success, but I think his most proficient to this point so far has been the Game & Watch. And so I'm curious to see what Hawaii really brings to the table here, knowing what they're up against.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's so hard to divorce. That's the word I'm looking for, but either one works. Game & Watch from Meister, but it does really feel like Game & Watch is Mr. Consistency in the way that he really can just play the same game plan against more or less every matchup in the game. And there are some matchups where you need a different game plan, but the base Game & Watch game plan always works out the same. You can usually up B out of combos. You can usually up B out of shield. You can usually convert that up B out of shield into damage. That's what you got to be looking for. And it works pretty much everywhere. That's why people get mad that Game & Watch is playing his own game. because he doesn't worry about matchups as much as execution. And I feel like that's a very strong benefit to have, especially when you're not only preparing for one opponent, you're preparing for 5.
Yeah, no, I think Game & Watch is absolutely one of the more versatile, I guess, character, or adaptable characters, I should say, because like you said, the game plan works for most matchups, and so you have your ups and downs with this character, of course, as every character does, but when you can kind of have that game plan streamlined, it really does, I think, benefit these players. And so for A-Fly, I think one of the keys here is that Game & Watch is a lighter character, so they will die a little bit earlier than most. So the key here, those high percents, you've got to be in survival mode. You've got to be able to play for your stock and hold on at those high percents. And against a character like Falco, that's not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, I do like the attempt at safer pressure, but A-Fly is able to keep themselves in the game. The bacon right there. Going to disrupt Coffee-Coon's recovery just a bit, but now they're able to chain A-Fly up. Just a little bit of damage off of the up throw, but uh-oh. Don't rely too much on that laser, my friend. You are sealing your own doom. Signing the contract.
Coffee-Coon nearly landing the drag down into the follow-up, but A-Fly able to get out of it, and I actually kind of like that second hitbox there. A-Fly not afraid to really go up there and challenge Coffee-Coon up in the sky.
As Coffee-Coon, at the moment, is having trouble keeping it even, as landing on them with Nair and then immediate up being, knowing that they're going to try and combo off of it, that good awareness from A-Fly right there. Oh. And there's the special right there, the classic. The creme de up smash, into down smash, into forward smash. True combo, by the way.
And I think right now, that's a good down tilt from Coffee-Coon. Nearly finding the up smash, but down tilt from A-Fly going to be able to take that stock. That down tilt, it just comes out so fast, and feels like Coffee-Coon is starting to catch on to A-Fly's landings.
Yes. Dash check not going to be punished. Coffee-Coon has learned not to fire any more lasers. There are 2 in the bucket. But honestly, that might be a strategy. Maybe fire 2 into the bucket and make it... Oh, okay. Okay, it's a good mind game. Maybe makes it so A-Fly would want to fire out some more stuff at some point, but yeah, that's... I feel like they're trying to bait them into using the bucket. I have to assume that's why. But if that's your entire game plan, it's not going to work out, as A-Fly is really covering every option that Coffee-Coon could be going for right here. Able to weather the storm for the most part, it's still... the discipline right there. You see them charging it right in front of you, and the down tilt is going to be the finisher.
It feels like the game plan almost for A-Fly is to throw out those heavy hits, the down smash, the forward smash, the up smash, and then use the quick hilt attacks that Game & Watch has that can still have a lot of knockback behind them. It's almost like a bait, right? You just throw out the heavy hitbox like, oh, I'm going to be vulnerable, and then turns out he's able to get away with it.
Whoa. Trying to go for the 2-frame right there, and I thought maybe, just maybe, but not this time. Just playing around the Pokeball in the middle. Center stage, never been clearly so defined. A-Fly, the pressure on shield, the explosion, baits you into a drop, and then you pull the rug out from under them with that down tilt. Gonna be finishing off that stock, and now it is looking slowly but surely like Canisius can make something happen here, Soy.
Yeah, that was a big 2-stock for A-Fly to take there to keep Canisius alive in this set. He gets another one and things will be all tied up headed into set number 5. But it's interesting. I think, well, how do I phrase this? There is matchup experience on the side of Hawaii here because they've got Not Christian in the lineup, who is another very proficient Game & Watch. But I think A-Fly's Game & Watch is just a different philosophy, right? It feels like the game plan is bait and punish for A-Fly, right? Throw out those heavy hitboxes and say, oh, I'm going to be vulnerable. Turns out I'm not. And he can play that kind of defensive style. Whereas Not Christian, I think, it doesn't really play that style as much. I think he's more I already used the term streamlined, but I feel like his game plan is a lot more simple about it, where it's use the up B, find the forward airs, find the up airs. And I think that kind of change in pace might be throwing off a player like Coffee-kun.
Yeah, I mean, the shield pressure into an immediate tilt has been kind of the A-Fly special. You called it out. It's
3, 2, 1,
kind of scary.
go!
I've never noticed that. Sorry, that just threw me for a loop. I thought the tooltips always referred to the matchup on screen, but it was just talking about Mithra right there. But either way, it's the immediate pressure once again. You bait an option out with the forward air and then immediately run in with a tilt. Landing back air, can't crouch cancel that, my friend. As A-Fly, for the time being, kind of really controls the pace.
Yeah, 62-3 in terms of percent, but this is an opening possibly for Coffee-kun. Can't quite find much off of that grab, and that's a huge opportunity missed. And so for Coffee-kun, it feels like the problem here is that, Falco's a character that thrives off these combos, and he just can't find a way in, falling prey to that up smash.
Now you catch him with the up tilt, but can't quite get the drag down, and that's going to hurt you a decent bit. In the center stage, you're able to get the up throw up air. 93%, one good read and you can get the stock. How you execute upon that read, though, that's tricky, because even if you understand exactly where Game & Watch is going to go, exactly when they're going to pull the triggers on your move, it can always be a little tricky to be sure that you're not going to get counter hit, or worse, counter killed. As when you get caught above them, well, it's Game & Watch over.
Ooh, that down tilt nearly finding the stock, and this is a huge stock for Coffee-kun. He's got to find a way to seal this one before he takes any more extra credit, because A-Fly's pressure right now is on point and wanted a second down smash, but he pulled the trigger on it too late.
Is now Coffee-kun trying to be very precise in their spacing, and yet there it is. A lot of people, they land and immediately shield. What Coffee-kun is doing, they're taking a page out of A-Fly's playbook. Land, immediate tilt. And especially that down tilt, I mean, it's always been good for getting kills, but it has seemed to be one of their main kill options.
Did a very good job of spacing it throughout this set, and that's some dangerous shield pressure right now, and A-Fly trying to take advantage of it, but he can't quite find these hits on the tilt.
They have definitely gone to the school of pushing buttons, as they're able to get the stage spike off of that down air, or back air, making it so difficult to tell when exactly you're going to be popped out for this tech. Maybe got locked out of the window right there, and because of that, you're at 30% on your last stock. And if you lose this, you're putting whoever your anchor is into, well, the tightest game you could possibly have.
We actually got the spike hitbox and that down smash. Oh, is that
Are they done?
The forward smash. Oh my goodness, it is.
That's a Firebird if I've ever seen one. Lighten them up as A-Fly eyes it up exactly 10-10 going into our game 5. I don't know if I've ever seen this, Soya. An even game in EGF. It's unprecedented. I I don't know. You've been around longer than I have. Surely you've heard tales of the perfect tied game.
I mean, going into set number 5, it is funny to note that, through the first couple weeks that we've been casting, most of these games, by the time it gets to game 5, it's practically out of reach. And so to see it, actually dead even is like you said, it's astonishing, really. But I mean, it's like you said, the pressure is now on, and the depth of these rosters is truly being tested. Who do you have that's left in this lineup on both sides that you believe can get the job done? I will say, though, before we get to that 5th set, credit where credit's due to A-Fly. He felt like he was all over that matchup. He had a game plan, and he just enforced it on the Coffee-kun.
And Coffee-kun tried to take a page out of their playbook. They tried to take a couple pages, but ultimately, Game & Watch pushes buttons. He pushes buttons really well, and they're good buttons, Soy. Cream of the crop buttons. And, well, sometimes you can't just contest them, and if you don't find the way to completely outmaneuver them in neutral, especially combo characters in particular, you're just not built for fighting a machine like that. So, A-Fly, well-deserved victory right there. And now, who we got? We got Weebson and Gray. Getting the band started, making sure the button checks are ready. As this tight set, this tight game, this tight match, it's got to end off with these people.
Yeah, and this will be a fun one. I mean, Gray is another Pokemon trainer for the side of Hawaii. He's 3-1 on the season, and Gray is an experienced veteran of the scene, right? He was one of the players that was key to this lineup last year. So, I feel like Hawaii, they're feeling pretty good about their odds, and having that experience behind them here in a very closely contested 5th set. And for Canisius, Weebson is one of these players that last year he went 2-2, and this year he struggled, but he is one of the players that I think has shown a lot of potential. He's a Dark Pit main, or at least that's what he was using all of last season. And Dark Pit is one of those characters that we rarely see here at EGF, but also has a lot of answers, I think, to a lot of different matchups. So curious to see what Weebson can bring to the table in this, once again, pressure cooker situation.
The one thing I am terrified for, and it's gonna be tough with online. I'm not saying it's not. I would say Dark Pit is up there for the easiest characters to hit with Ivysaur's down air in the entire game. It's just a straight, slow, vertical line straight to the ledge. So if you have the timing right, you could do it with your eyes closed, but you can't always be sure what exactly the delay is going to be, and if you're not there fast enough, it's not going to matter. So I'm looking to see how they capitalize off of this recovery, because it doesn't have a hitbox either. So even just drop zone fair, which is just when you run off, or nair rather, which is just when you run off the stage in neutral air with that long-lasting spinny Ivysaur hitbox, that can be enough to gimp a Dark Pit.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a huge aspect of this matchup, like you said, that ability to edge guard, and on a recovery like Pit's that can be exploitable. What that tells me, though, is that for Weebson, the game has to be won on stage. You have to win the neutral game. And against a character like Ivysaur, that can be very difficult. So something I'm looking for specifically, the use of down B and side B. That electroshock can snuff out projectiles and can be used as a kill move, and that shield is going to be very important, but I feel like he's got to use them sparingly as we get ready for game number 1.
Yeah, going for the immediate combos right there, but the Nair sets up for a little bit of a tech chase. Canisius has not been able to vanquish this demon thus far. Can they do it now, or will Hawaii continue being the thorn in their side? Getting the tech chase right there, covering get up attack as well. As they get the spike right there, and it kills. The mythical Pit and Dark Pit down air kill. all sorts of firsts tonight in this final game.
Yeah, rare to see that downer actually get the spike hitbox, but now Gray on this Ivysaur. This is where Gray puts in a lot of work, and already keeping Weebson to the corner. 108%. There's that up B, not able to capitalize on it, but the armor of the side B actually stopping that forward smash.
Yeah, the super armor is so crucial in clutch scramble situations like that, where you know all they're thinking is get the kill, get the kill, get the kill, get the kill. But, well, that armor protects about everything except grabs. And Ivysaur can get some good mileage off of that. I expect we're going to be seeing mostly Ivysaur with this connection, but Charizard could come out. As now searching for where you would find the back air. But they're able to tether right back to stage and actually get the ledge trump right there by dropping back down. The double dip is going to be punished.
Things back to even here, but it feels like Gray is just controlling neutral very well. It feels like he's got an idea of what he wants to do, whether or not he's looking to catch a landing or whether or not he's looking to stop an aggressive landing option from Weebson. It feels like it's almost read and react for Gray right now.
Yeah, read and react is certainly right, so as now able to get off the stage, and there we go. One up air for the kill. Gray holding the lead right now for University of Hawaii. In the reverse sweep, can Canisius do it? Will Hawaii hold onto their lead? Gray seems determined to make it the latter, but that rapid jab on the platform is keeping it even, keeping it close. One stray back air, one stray smash attack is all you need. Even, heck, at ledge, I think that side B would be enough. As they drop down and catch the tether recovery. Very good.
Yeah, that was a clutch catch from Weebson on that forward air. Not easy to catch some of those tether recoveries the way they snapped the ledge, so great job reading the angle. And now things come down to the last stock here, but Gray with a lot of control here. Good shield from Weebson, though. Can he find a way back to stage?
Going for the very extended forward smash, but it's not going to connect as Weebson is able to get the tech chase into another rapid jab and another tech chase into the grab. Just like that, it's even. They went for the spike, but the DI out saved Gray's life. They've got him at ledge. They're fishing for this forward smash. They know how easy it would be to drop this right now. They've lost their lead, but they gain it back. It's dead even right now as they get the reflect, but the spacing was good enough where the side B will not connect. Now Weebson, they're going for these spot dodge, smash attack, spot dodge, smash attack. They want it so bad, but Gray won't give it to him.
Gotta play so carefully here, both at roughly kill percent, and Weebson nearly dying to that back throw. He wants to contest some of these Razor Leafs, but cannot do so. Doesn't have time to get back, but he is able to get back to stage now. Whiff grab from Gray, and these tilt attacks for Weebson are so threatening, but this back throw, no, it's the down throw instead, and the mix-up will actually take the stock, and Gray take game one.
And that mix-up, that was everything. You saw it wasn't a kill screen right there. They were holding in to try and save themselves from the back throw. Well, that didn't quite turn in their favor because it was a down throw instead, but either way, that'll be Hawaii going up 1-0 in the set. Still very doable right there. I mean, that's the amazing thing about tied points. All you need to do is win the set. It's all you have to focus on. And, I mean, that was a lot more even than I gave it credit for. And a lot more balanced. I mean, low percents were all the Nair wars once Ivysaur came out. It's like, bro, can I copy off your Nair? Okay, just don't make it too obvious. Like, that's what it felt like. It's like, okay, you get a Nair? You get a Nair. It's the same Nair. I mean, I'd need to check, but I bet it even does. It's the same amount of hits. It does the same percent. Probably not, but listen, I'm the caster, and what I say goes. Sakurai, you know what to do.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's interesting too that you know, that recovery that we were talking about, it never really came to fruition. But Weebson, I think one of the keys here at least one of the aspects that I thought was interesting was that Weebson was able to, the different ways Weebson was able to find ways back to stage, right? He grabs ledge, and you only have so many options from ledge, right? But I think numerous times you would drop ledge and side B, or he jump back to ledge and use the side B in order to get back to stage. And a trick like that can work, but only sparingly, only in certain situations. And so that's why I think it's really key to hold on to those specials, hold on to the tricks like that, use something like jump or roll instead. And I think Gray is starting to catch on to those options. So that's why the battle has to be won on stage for Weebson, and it was so difficult for him to do so. Gray was so good at controlling the neutral game.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of raw openings they would get were nice. I don't know if they would control the neutral game so much as they would just not get hit. Like, they would struggle getting kills. I mean, they would struggle finding that stray hit. They would struggle getting the whiff punish. But they didn't get punished themselves. Like, think about that last stock. They kept Weebson or Gray in disadvantage for so long. They brought it back to even percents. And then Gray did not get touched. They were throwing out forward smashes. They were throwing out everything. And the kitchen sink. But it did not connect because their spacing, their positioning was good enough where there wasn't really the confidence needed to challenge it.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And the other thing too is I love, especially on the early portions of that game, Gray did a really good job of catching landings. I mean, like I already said, it was kind of read and react-esque, but it works, right? Because you see, anytime Dark Pit is above you, you got to think about, okay, how is he going to land? And for Gray, it was simple. It was, okay, is he throwing out an attack? No. Looks like he's going to try and land. All right, I'll throw out a hitbox. All right, he's going to land with an aggressive move. Okay, let me space around it and grab, or let me shield and grab. And those are the types of options that I think Gray was really getting a lot of mileage out of.
And so it's going to have to be Weebson keeping an eye on those options from Gray on this smaller stage. We're going to Smashville on what could be the final game of the night. University of Hawaii seeking to close it out here and now. They don't want to give an opportunity for the clutch factor to kick in. They want to shut down, douse Weebson's fire while they still can.
This Squirtle for Gray already doing a lot of work, 42% onto Weebson, but that was a good spacing on forward tilt from Weebson as things are back to even.
Yep. And there's the Nair, just chipping into Weebson's defenses, into their percents. Trying to land again with those shields, but it can get a little predictable. And even though it's hard to recover, you got to drop them at some point.
Oh, that was a great play from Gray. The second he recognized Weebson had dipped a little bit too low. I like the idea from Weebson to try and cover the tether with that Nair, but the second he realized he was overextended, Gray instantly jumps from ledge and lands that down air.
We space back airs in this house. Oh, we get spikes off the right side, left side in this house. I don't know my left and right, but either way. Yeah, that was a very good reversal from Weebson after back air after back air after back air had kept them off stage. They got the down air, but now they're being kept off stage again. I don't know if they're going to get quite the same reversal this time, given that Gray's at 0%, but hey, prove me wrong, my friend.
They are able to get back to stage, though, and you can tell Gray really wants this kill, too, but he's doing a lot better job of disguising some of his kill options. There he got a little greedy with that forward smash, but interesting there. Also, the armor on that side B, again, helping Weebson out of that dangerous scenario.
Is now searching for the spike, just jumps at ledge. Oh no, they're gonna make it back. But I didn't know the functionality of that side B. I thought it was like Falcon for a second. And around this left side ledge now, they're able to catch the dash away with the side B, the burst option right there. A little slow, but still packs the same amount of punch. There it is. I had asked for it. I begged for it. I plead for it. I was down on my knees. They got the punish on the up B from above ledge.
And now all the pressure on Weebson. Down a full stock. He's got Gray at kill percent. Can he find a way? No down B available now, but back throw off stage.
Drifting slowly but surely. The aerial drift has to be so precise, but the shield doesn't break, and that's an opportunity for a punish, but you only get one little hit. Gray, they want to finish this off now. They don't want to bring this to last stock because they saw how Weebson almost made a comeback in the previous one. And sure, you can bank on your skill, on your clutch factor, but is it going to work as the forward throw kills? Last stock. An advantage to Gray, but how long will that last now that he got caught by the down throw? Down B out of that combo onto the Ivysaur. Ivysaur versus Dark Pit. It's been the matchup of the night, and the Nairs are looking like Dark Pit's favor for now. The ledge trap, though, goes Ari. He's sent off stage again thanks to the grab, and the off stage down air is the final finisher move. As quick as you please, Gray sends you to your doom, secures the University of Hawaii's lead after it was almost snatched away by Canisius College, and it is going to be Hawaii winning the night, 14-10.
Yeah, what a match there, and Gray, great stuff to him, and that's what we were talking about with, you know, not being too trigger happy on those kill options, because we saw throughout this entire set Gray specifically spacing that down air around the ledge, and the one time Weebson needs it the most to get back to stage, he says, no, I'll go for the off stage one this time because I know this angle well, and he's able to capitalize off of it. Lands the, perfect, like we said, that down air is just massive. It's the size of Alaska, and Pitt in that linear recovery, it was just very well done, and good discipline really by Gray.
Yeah, at some point you've just gotta rip the band-aid off, and well, they did have their reasons for not going for it previously, but eventually you're going to adapt. You're gonna figure out the timing. And when you do that, it's game over. And that down air was not without risk at the end, because Weebson had shown themselves perfectly capable of getting a counter down air in return if you try to get too cheeky with edge guarding them. So that was an all or nothing play. And they got everything. They got the win. They got the continued undefeated streak against Canisius. And hopefully we can ask a little bit more about that as we are going to go to a little interview in just a couple minutes with a representative from the University of Hawaii. So don't go anywhere. We're coming at you live with the last interview of the night in just a couple of minutes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to EGFC for our final interview of the night. We're here with Gray, coming hot off of a clutch last game win again for the University of Hawaii. How you doing, Gray?
I'm doing good.
Hey, just glad to hear it. And speaking of, you were the anchor for your team against Weebson in that last game scenario, tied 10-10. How did it feel representing your team like that and like carrying them to the victory?
I mean, considering our scores were tied prior to that set, I was a bit nervous, but I mean, I'm just glad I was able to bring it home for my team.
Hey, of course. And hey, you showed your stuff while doing it, and well, good show, my friend.
Yeah. So I guess I kind of want to go into that matchup in particular. Did you know that you're going to be going up against a dark pit, or what was your mindset going into that matchup?
Going into that matchup, I don't know. I've never really played that matchup before, so it's kind of just feel it out throughout the set. I'm just glad that Pit, or specifically Dark Pit, likes to kill more off the side, so I had to play around that.
Yeah, that is true. And moving beyond that matchup to what led up to it, I am curious what the sort of mentality was as you had the 10-0 lead, and then slowly but surely it just inched out of your favor until it was tied. Like, how did it feel watching the comeback happen?
I mean, it's rough having to see that happen, but we are relatively understanding of our players. Obviously, Coffee-kun, I believe this was his first match for us, so he couldn't adjust to the lag as well at the moment. And then Altair, he did his best. He did what he could.
Yeah, I mean,
All we could ever ask for all of our players.
listen, if that's... I have a feeling they can do a lot more, but... Well, that is not meant to be an insult, but they definitely put on a really good performance, and hey, you got the win anyway, so very proud of your team.
Thank you.
And with this win, you guys advanced to 3-3 on the season. And you guys next week have a very difficult opponent, the defending champs in Mississippi State. So what's something that you and your team need to work on in order to get ready for next week's matchup?
I think our neutral as players need a lot of work. I know for me specifically, my neutral has been like probably the biggest disadvantage for my play. So that's something I need to work on, and I think a good amount of our team needs to work on that as well. But overall, we seem pretty solid. But Mississippi, obviously, defending champs will probably be one of our hardest matches in this season.
Well, I wish you best of luck in your prep with that, and I got faith, but it is going to be tough. I wish you best of luck on that mountain climb, but for now, thank you so much for coming out for that interview, and thanks for a good show tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Hey, glad to have you, and with that, we here at EGFC are going to be wrapping up for the night. Thank you all for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to go below, follow our Twitch and the main Twitch at official EGF. Every Tuesday, there's Smash action all day long. We're getting to the end of the fall split, but there's going to be more in spring, so be sure to keep tabs by following official EGF on Twitter as well. Additionally, if you like the amazing production tonight, check out House of 3000 running almost all of the Smash streams. Technically, I can't say all of them because we got good old Aeon on the third Smash stream. And additionally, your illustrious caster, Soy, right here. I got the right side this time, at SoySanJSport, and myself, Kilo Miles GG. We love to come out here every Tuesday and make things happen, so be sure to check out all the other amazing projects we do as well. But I think that's all for tonight, Soy. It was a pleasure casting with you as always, and everyone else out in the audience, I bid you all a good night.